Well, hello everybody. Come on in and welcome. You are watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, some call me Cheatspeak. Welcome to 2026. Y'all, we've made it once again. Yet another year is upon us. Nice to have you here. Nice to see you. We're doing something a little different here on the channel. For the first time, we are mucking with our usual slate of streams and mixing it up a little bit, doing something called Discovery Month here on the channel for the first time ever. So, we've talked about how we want to kind of lean into a little more of the indie game space and do a little more kind of video game focus even than we have in past years, largely because we've been straddling that line between video games and TCGs, and we want to do something a little bit different. So that's what this kind of is. Every week this month here in January, we're going to be spotlighting a new and interesting sounding or interesting looking indie game that we've happened to come across for the sake of discovery. Let's see where the name comes from. We're gonna play them live on stream, generally blind playthroughs with all of you to figure out what these games are all about. Starting this time around with Environmental Station Alpha, a Metroidvania from 2015, very heavily retro styled as you can see, by a one-person development team, the person's name being, RV Tekari. I believe he's Finnish. If this draws any sort of parallels, a retro throwback Metroidvania completely developed by one person, any parallels to Animal Well? There's more than a few. This, however, predates Animal Well by very nearly a decade. So we're going to get on into it and explore all that it has to offer. A quick summary of the game from its Steam page. Environmental Station Alpha is an action-adventure platformer with a retro aesthetic and heavy emphasis on exploration. In the game, the player controls a robot sent to investigate a mysterious, abandoned space station with the mission to find out exactly what took place there. Overrun by wildlife, the station is immensely dangerous to explore, and on top of that, earthquakes have made navigating the various areas very challenging. Over the course of the game, the player must uncover secrets, fight loads of bosses, and amass power-ups in order to really figure out the fate of the space station. The game also features a wonderful ambient soundtrack to immerse the player into the gameplay. Vinny's already here. My pal's back. We're here. We're playing games, Vinny. We have video games for you to play here. And honestly, here's how we came about it. I just really took advantage of the Steam winter sale and went in and tried to find a few games that, you know, were accessible and would maybe be reasonable ones to play, and bought them, and here we are. So we have a whole slate of stuff queued up for the rest of the month to show you, but this is the first one we wanted to try out. I believe it was like $5, so not a huge hurdle to climb here by any means. Let's get into it, huh? So once again, we have a throws recently purchased Metroid 4 amiibo through a window. It's gonna play a little differently than Prime 4, I think. So I've heard it's very difficult, and I know precious little about this going in other than that it's supposedly very hard. Let's set the mood a little bit, maybe, if we want to make it a little more vibe-centric in here. How's that? We're gonna go in on normal, and if we really find ourselves pulling what's left of our hair out, we'll adjust course. Audio sounds okay, I think. Let's get rolling. Love me Steam sale, everything was like 50% or more off. That's where I picked up Arc Raiders. During the winter sale, it was like, you know, $30 down from 40. I'll take that. And Lord knows we've been having enough fun with that. Let's get on in here. So here it begins. He could not use the main entrance because the generators are offline. Be careful though, because there are probably some backup engines running. When you enter the station, we will no longer be able to contact you. The first thing now is to turn the generators back online. Use directional buttons to walk, A button to jump, and X button to shoot. I don't think that maps to the Pro Controller super well. We're gonna see. You can pause by pressing start. This also shows the map and status screens. Wow. Well, there's your shooties. This is, you want to talk retro throwback aesthetic. This is about as retro as anything's looked recently, right? Well, it's certainly ambient, I can tell you that much. Oh my god, I love it. This is, so we're in kind of the caverns leading up to it, right? This is aggressively retro, my god. Look at this. Vinny loves it already. It's spooky, that's for sure. Use. Power generator offline. Main battery 0 out of 300. That's not a good charge state. Searching for backup. Backup found. Battery 121, 152 out of 300. Do you want to turn the power back online? Turning the power on. Alert, alert. Unauthorized access detected. Activating defense system. That didn't go well at all. Well, that wasn't very nice. Well, we're just gonna tank this, I guess. Well, it's not a gimme, that's for sure. There we go. So retro, my old NES is climbing up the stairs to beat my head in for neglecting it. This would not look out of place alongside that original Metroid, would it? Alert! Alert! Ceiling AI mainframe and surrounding area. Bam. Okay, well. You are too deep into the station. This is our last message. Ooh. Try to find out what happened there and return to us. Farewell. Oh, that's creepy. So those are save points. Press right shoulder button in front of these red booths to save your progress. Already done. So I wasn't sure if I could swim or not. We can. It's pretty vibe heavy, as you might expect. Full on old school, like NES Game Boy Metroid vibes for sure. Warning, dangerous area ahead. Access level 2 required. Well, it's a little rich for my blood. I might have resigned myself to this fate down here. Ow. Very underwater. Ooh. We can swim. There's nothing really in here. Map. So you kind of have a map and a timer. Nice and creepy. I can't really do much in here, right? I mean, we probably have to double back to where we were. The Metroidvania is already kicking in. Where do we go? How are we all doing out there? This is going to be fun. I'm excited to explore just more of these random games. I looked right before we started here. Did you know that according to SteamDB, there are 158,285 games on Steam? How do you find what's cool and what's interesting out there? Well, that's where we come in. A little bit of curation, a little bit of discovery, a little bit of help. Oxygen not required. I think you're a robot. So oxygen truly not required, as it turns out. So we're happy to help with some of that exploration and discovery. It's one of the joys of doing the things that we do, why we emphasize things like PAX so much and do all those developer interviews. That's where a lot of our discoverability comes from. And one of the great joys of it is discovering things you never knew existed. So, nondescript green slimage. A little sus. Love breaking me Legos. That was probably not conducive. Does it reset if I... Yes, it does. Yeah, it's a little better. Basic platforming, folks. Learn it, appreciate it. We got fish. A little fish. That's a fast fish. Warning, dangerous area ahead. Access level 2 required again. This place is so dangerous. We're just in the caves. Little robot guy bopping around when you walk. He's got a nice spring in his step, you know. Very squishy. Security computer online. Access level 2 granted. That's all I needed. And it even says okay. That is a massive monitor just screaming okay at you. Access level sufficient. Away we go. Whee. So I should also remind folks, depending on where you're watching, on Twitch at least we have the no backseating tag on. So please, you know, if you're familiar with this game, you know, try not to throw too many hints around unless we're asking for them. You know, don't be spoiling too much or giving us shit for being bad at it. That's not nice. My pal solves Rubik's Cubes in his downtime. I absolutely do not solve Rubik's Cubes in my downtime. I can tell you that right now. It's always part of the fear and part of the angst of playing puzzle games on stream. You can be very bad at them and look very foolish. YouTubers have ruined careers over that. Cheating in puzzle games on stream. In we go. He's gone forever. And so are we. Goodbye, friend. So yeah, you can very clearly see the Metroid influence on something like this. And again, it's always great because there's some, you know, visceral appeal in understanding and knowing that these kind of things come to fruition as like one-person efforts and one-person development teams just sort of putting it all together. It's always really impressive. No matter the scope of the game, no matter the scale, just, you know, one person's passion project coming to life is always really, really interesting. Animal Well, certainly our most prominent example of that, probably, in terms of things that we've covered, but there's many, many examples out there. And, you know, small teams, 2, 3, 5 people, it's all very impressive. Games are hard. Okay, don't go in the green water. There's a save point right here near the green water. Bam. Lesson learned. Green water bad. It's a pretty groovy soundtrack too, I will give it that. I wasn't gonna not give it that, but I'm definitely giving it that now. I drink green water all the time. I feel like you probably shouldn't, Palbert. I'm running around with the life advice here. This is a real goopy, gross cave we're in here. What is this? I guess we'll never know, because now we gotta fight the queen beetle. Oh, God. What in the... How... Oh, my God. Well, that went about as poorly as you could have asked for there. Oh, and it's... Yep, reloaded the teleporter. That's gonna be super fun, I can tell you that already. You know, that was one of those things I didn't really think about it during Animal Well that much, but there really weren't any boss fights or major showstoppers like that where you would get super stuck on a particular piece of combat. It was all so exploration focused. The bosses and the danger was really ambient. I missed it again. Once again, I think we're just kind of tanking enough of it. Damn. Just dropping on top of you is brutal. All the way back. Well, that's an automatic nope. Right back. Right back to the heels. Was it some kind of power-up trap? What were we? God damn it. Well, we're gonna do it hard mode and go in with 9 health. Can I just drop in on this thing? I cannot. I gotta fight Queen Beetle instead. It's the momentum of it dropping in that makes it so challenging. Take that, though. We're in good shape now. There we go. Okay, we learn. We figure it out. Boom. We're a little injured. That's okay. Wow! You found a jump booster. Press A button while in midair to perform an additional jump. Wow. With fun little effects, too. And a save. Very good. Oh, I'm so much more mobile. Look at me go. My pal's an exterminator, and it has all your, Oh, look at that. Your power-ups listed on the bottom there, huh? Woo. The Mushroom Kingdom. Perhaps the real boss was the animal wells we met along the way. I don't know what Billy thinks of that one. There will be no falling down there, I suppose. We were here already. Looks familiar, but we're going to be able to use that double jump, I think. to get right up here like so. New area. A lot of green. Really leveraging that double jump already. Whoa. What are you dangling with there? Okay. Leap of faith pays off. Where are we going? I don't like when the music drops off, and neither should you. It has been a week since the incident, and several sectors have become completely inaccessible. The Ocean Dome sector is now completely flooded, and the volcanic sector is a molten hellhole. However, I have got messages from crewmates trapped in the volcanic sector. They say that they are stuck, but that there is a safe area on the other side of the sector. Now we just need to figure out how to rescue them from there. Interesting. Different sectors. Is this... It's too hot. Oh, it's way too hot. Volcanic sector, huh? What awaits us here? Something else, obviously. It's too quiet. We have a save. That S is like your best friend. Oh. Little gravity bit. Remember that you can skip any dialogue you've already seen by pressing start. What if I like your dialogue? Maybe I don't want to skip it. Unless it's, you know, redundant parts that are killing me a lot. Thanks, Twomp. Okay, Twomp. Take it easy. No go there, Palbert. Another elevator. But I don't want to ride the elevator. We're just exploring now. It's spooky. Who puts a computer at the end of a hallway like this? This used to be the way to the AI's mainframe. However, the whole area has now been blocked off for security reasons. To be honest, it feels like the AI is a bit too secure right now. Ooh. Spicy. He reminds me a lot of the Bit Trip Runner guy, you know? Just gives that blocky vibe. Whee! Oh, natural. Whoa! The larvae. Oh, they're thicker than anticipated. Oh, right out into the woods here. Okay. There's a save. Load a save. For, again, how kind of low res and very kind of 8-bit the whole thing is, it's fairly evocative. Soundtrack's doing a lot of heavy lifting here. What are you? Okay. Not friendly, looks like. Oh, a little frog. I'm shooting the frog! Are you a platform? You are not. Yep, that went well. Well, that didn't work. Let's see what else we got. Our Twomp friend. Maybe let's try over here. A lot of dancing flowers. And stuff killing me. What's killing me? Is it the flowers? Owie indeed. The underwater sector has become very hostile as of late. The recent violent earthquakes have made it completely inaccessible. I'm quite sure someone will need a hook shot to access it. I know some are stored in the volcanic sector. It seems that there might be a safe area on the other side of that sector. I'd have no chance of getting through the heat myself, but maybe someone else will. Map updated with the location of the hook shot. Alright, so we're getting some direction here. That's good. So the pedals are hurting me? Yeah. Fragile little robot. Okay, so we're at the top of the map. So we just kind of have to bullet through the volcanic sector and get super burned? Is that how this is going to work? Alright. Easier ways to tell me don't go that way. Probably. It's a little too high for me. And what was here? I'll probably need the hook shot to get around that stuff, right? That's my guess. Okay, he's mean. Okay. But at least we know. Does it keep the stuff marked on the map? It does not, so we have to go all the way back to get that info again? Well, I don't love that. Oh, and the spam. Jeez. Well, back we go, I guess. It's not like a super arduous thing. Let's just do it. It's just the damn pedals, I guess. Shoot your way through. That's where we skip the dialogue, I see now. That's better. I'm gonna save... Spam not friend! It's true. Nice. Just cruising on through, don't mind me. So we probably do have to get through the volcanic sector. Right, so... This doesn't really give us anywhere interesting, right? Just the... former AI core or whatever. So I guess we really gotta try the volcanic sector, huh? So we really gotta just blaze our way through there, yeah? Is creepy. It's pretty... It's a little unsettling. Not unlike old school Metroid in that regard, right? There's something over here, though. Another terminal. When construction started on the station, these temple ruins were already there. So in a sense, they're much more genuine than all the other biomes found here. These days, the temple's connected to the surface as well as the volcanic sector. But this entrance appears to have collapsed. Has it, though? I kind of shot through it, but we're not getting through that way. So yeah, I'll take it at its word there. I'm also seeing this incredibly up close, so on stream it probably looks pretty good, but man, is it pixely, you know, 2 feet from it. And so we gotta hustle through here. Alright. No idea where I'm going. Just trying to get to the safe part. Ugh! So close. Too bad the collapsed entrance wasn't cannon-proof. I always build my ruins to be cannon-proof, and you should too. A little life lesson there for you. So do we just try this again? Seems pretty far. Hopefully it's right here. It is! Alright, we blazed through that. Get it? So is that the thing? We just kind of got to go from... No, this is the safe part. Safe is a relative term, is it not? Can't get up there. Better have your double jumps. Or else what will you do? Conveyor belts? Oh yes. Don't get hit by your boulders. Got hit by the boulders. Do we see Sari playing No Man's Sky? What are you doing? It's not Environmental Station Alpha. Whoa! There we go. But no can get. How do get? Up here, maybe? No. Oh, I broke. Too many. Grimbo drank too much. Load a save. But No Man's Sky is pretty good now. I remember so much of the, oh boy. So much of the controversy around its launch. Scrapping unit. I hit it. It's about all I'm getting. Get back here. No heals for you. Stingray. What did you say before? Pal clearly doesn't own an air fryer. You need the hook shot. Yeah, probably to get up there. I'm assuming that's just going to let us grapple all over the place, right? But we're going to get it from Scrapyard Dog here, I guess. As we beat our heads against the boss for a while. Oh man. This is a lot more combat heavy than I was expecting. You ever just want to fire diagonally? Not be able to? My whole life. How do I avoid those things? That's what I want to know. The blaster is so limited. Pal wasn't ready for Metroid Souls. Who would be? It's so lo-fi and unassuming. Why would you ever think this would be a disaster? Well, this is the part where we spend half an hour just beating our heads against this. Jesus. That's not good. Okay, well, we're what, not even an hour in, and we've hit the first real roadblock. I wish you could fire diagonally. I really do. Ugh. These are the easy bosses? I can't wait for the... How do I avoid those? Ugh. Woke up my house shouting when you died on that one? You gotta be so precise to land your shots on it because his hit radius is so small. I don't know. That helped. Turns out all we had to do was cheese it. Get back here. Where are you going? It says I beat the scrapping unit. I clearly did not. Make it make sense. our little fun play hole, friend. Yeah! You saw I got the achievement. It was like defeated the scrapping unit. I very clearly did not defeat the scrapping unit. It was but just phase 1. What is the terminal thing that it drops? I don't have time to figure it out. At least we know we can cheese it. That gives me some solace. Nope. If every boss fight is going to be this intense, we're not getting very far tonight. Unless I give up and go to easy like a bitch. For the sake of the game and experiencing a little more of it, we should probably not get hung up on just the one boss fight all night, right? I beat both computers. Oh, I see. Don't be that. Be a Billy Badass. I see. So those are how you finish off the scrapping unit. You just got to go back and forth and beat up on the terminals that spawn. I see. Those things are a nightmare. I don't know how I get to that end boss or the end phase with enough health to kind of go back and forth enough. That really seems like the key. You gotta trap him right up against the side of it. It's annoying because the patterns are so predictable, but it's these bits, and him not really being fast enough to dodge much of anything is a problem. We're on the second boss, and already it's, this is almost 10 minutes. They blend in so much with the background, too. It's really hard to pinpoint them. Third boss. Oh, yeah. No, technically the third boss. You're right. Nope. We're already fucked. I might as well just start it over. What's our thoughts on this sort of thing, where you are going to have those really significant difficulty spikes? You're going to have those moments where things just really ratchet it up, and it's going to take you 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to get past one particular section. Is that what we're looking for in something like this? How does that appeal to people or not appeal to people? So I can already tell you I'm not super on board with it. Now, there is an easy mode, so if we really had to, we could see what that's like. I'm one of those that doesn't really go in for, like, obscene amounts of challenge in their games anymore. Again, as, like, time sort of gets limited and you're not able to, like, hyper-focus in on things for hours and hours like you maybe could if you had more free time. Son of a bitch! We're already fucked. He's not even halfway dead. Wow. My pal's about to hop off the roller coaster mid-loop. He's gonna land back in the cart anyways. Yeah. The lack of diagonal shooting really comes into play here. It makes it feel a lot stiffer than I think you would like. Bye. And there's just no range on this thing, so... Such a narrow kind of point to have to... God damn! God damn! Okay. This is our best shot yet. Shit! God damn it! Oh! I don't want the entire stream to be me banging my head off of this boss. For how long has it been now? I'm gonna have to timestamp this stuff. See, he moves back to center, and your beam is so thin, you stop doing damage. See? close as we've come. We got him! Wow! That was skin of our teeth level stuff, huh? That was a dramatic challenge. But that's a hook shot, folks. Press the Y button to swing to hard to reach areas. And it's only diagonally. Whoa. Oh, so there's no actually swinging on it. You just get the one burst and that's it. Oh, God. It's hooking time. It's not intuitive, I will tell you that much. This is... Yikes. Okay. See how it works? You just kind of get that momentum to the other side of whatever you target, and then... Ooh. Maybe it gets more intuitive over time. So it is funky. Just give me a save point so I don't have to do that again. Because we are not saved yet. And I'm not doing that boss. If I have to do that boss again, we're going to break. I don't know what's down there. Guess we're finding out. Okay. Got a terminal. This is it. As I write this, there's really no help for our group. Although I highly doubt any human is safe on this station anymore. The robots seem to all have gone on murderous rampages, and I can't seem to shut them off. I've heard that some scientists are trying to find out what's going on over in the underwater sector. Although even if they do, I doubt they'll be able to stop the slaughter. Still, maybe the data they uncover will be helpful for someone. Map updated with the location of the researchers, all the way across town. Saved. And so that was our little loop. Anxiety setting in without save station. You got that right. So this is saying 27 minutes of in-game time. And that's a lie. All right, so we gotta make our way all the way back. All the way back. Oh, we can go a little deeper on the map. Save point, teleport. There's teleports. Save point and teleport. Spaceship. The underwater bits. Maybe the hookshot will come in handy now. Diskette. All right, well. Let's get over there then. Maybe not. Maybe we can hookshot up there. No. And the garbage would kill us anyway, so that's probably not even worth trying out. And let's race. And we're already dead. We need full health to, like, speed through this part. Sure. Although that was a nice little hook. Did you see that? Unless it's going to force me to hook shot to get through this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, pretty much. A little healthy poo. These pink blocks have a strong current running through them. This means that your hook shot cannot latch onto them. There will be no hooking. Ow. God damn it. Okay. Well, back to this part, I guess. Can't wait to die in the... Yep. I will say, this is not a particularly casual experience. I mean, maybe on easy, it's a little more forgiving, but this is one where you gotta, like, steel yourself up, because it is not, it's not playing around. Just made it there. Okay. Low key, I kind of hate the hookshot. I guess when you get the hang of it, it's probably very fun and skillful to swing it around, but it is super unintuitive. Cue the get goods, I guess. Now, here's the other bit, too. I don't personally have a ton of Metroidvania experience, so I don't know what a comparative kind of difficulty level for this sort of thing is. Is it normally this painful to traverse around? You know, the lack of diagonals is showing, yeah. I wish it had some sort of indication of, like, you know it's going to go out at, like, that 45-ish degree angle. But it's still really frustrating. I hate it. To have to kind of guess at where you're going to go and what the momentum's going to be. I think it kind of has to do with how far it extends. And that's if, you know, you don't use your blaster instead. So again, I don't know if it's normally the case in other Metroidvanias of this style, but traversal itself seems to be, you know, super hazardous. And I'm trying to figure out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Jerp! Hello, Jerp. See, I use my double jump already. That's bad. This area in particular leans a little tough in terms of navigating through the heat. You sound like you know what you're doing. I'm figuring this out as we go here. This seems to be jumping the difficulty quid pretty quick. Granted, I'm basing this on Metroid 2, Super Metroid. I don't remember just walking around in Super Metroid kind of being that hazardous, right? Certainly not, you know, to this degree. It really is that thing where you gotta get used to the mechanics of the hookshot and the physics of it. I don't want to spoil or backseat much. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's, I did sort of mark this as no backseating, I think. So, you know, it might be bad, and we're not going to put the most proficient gameplay on display, but it helps to kind of have us figure it out for ourselves. Now, see, that was good. It wasn't intentional at all, but it was good. I just want to trigger the fly here. Come here, fly boy. Yeah, get over here. So now we have 7 health to play with to get to the save point, so that's good. And we got it. Okay. It takes a lot of getting used to, is what I'm gathering from this. It's not like an immediately click and you got it kind of mechanic necessarily. All right, so it probably wants the underwater sector next. One thing I do appreciate is at least having some sense of kind of where to go, and the game sort of steering you a little bit. Whee! Where are we going? Oh, I don't like it. Too many eyeballs. Getting concerned. This must be a teleport. You can move instantly between any teleports you visited in the past. However, you must have an access card to use them. Press right shoulder button to open a map from which to choose your destination. I do not have an access card unless this gives me one. The security system has gone completely haywire. I can no longer access these teleporters, and thus I am stuck down here. I wonder if there are any others still on the station. All right, so somewhere along the way we're going to get an access card that will let us teleport, which is good. Let's see, Super Metroid tends to lean on the easy side. I guess that tracks. A couple of bosses are a little tough relative to other Metroidvanias, kind of similar to Hollow Knight or Silksong. I see. That's probably maybe a better frame of reference, right? Again, for reference, we're not super well-versed in the genre, necessarily. My closest analog that we've played for the channel and that we've reviewed is Animal Well, which is not a direct comparison, I wouldn't say, since that's kind of seemingly more puzzle and you know, non-combat focused. Do I have to hook shot up there? Maybe. Yeah, look at that. Some of it depends on whether you want to 100% or just roll credits. Can get pretty difficult even relative to most other Metroidvanias. That's about the most I can say about difficulty. Okay. And that's, I think, where we were starting to lean the discussion is, like, what are you kind of looking for in your game? Because there are a lot of players who I think want that more difficult experience. And I know that there is an easy mode. I'd be curious to know how that sort of squares up. Now we, you know, are trying it on normal just to sort of get what I guess is the more intended experience. Did easy mode come after the fact? Did it launch with that? I don't know. This came out 2015, I believe, so it's been a while. I was looking on the Steam page just to get a little familiar. All right, so I gotta see if I can figure this shit out. Okay, we got it. We're getting there. Is that the time in game you've been playing on the bottom left, or is that the, like, clock time? Where are we going? So we just got to get up there, yeah. I wonder if I can swing that. We're gonna try it. Can I can hook shot repeatedly, right? So I can just Yeah. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna challenge ourselves. We're gonna learn all this. We need our double jump, so we gotta just get into it like that, and then like that, and boom. Okay, we're getting there. Again, maybe not the most intuitive thing in the world right off the bat, but we're figuring it out. In-time game played, probably. Outside of combat, Animal Well is a decent comparison. I spent a lot of time diving into Animal Well. People were describing it as divided into layers, and I think I got layer 4 or 5. That's pretty deep. That's pretty good. For context, I loved Animal Well. That was the first kind of formalized review we ever did for this channel, actually. That was, what, a year and change ago? I close my eyes and I'm just starting to see blocks. That's how you know this is going. And we loved it. I think we gave it a 4.5 out of 5. We loved it, absolutely loved it. And I didn't go all that deep. We got to the credits, we got to starting those additional layers, but it was fantastic. One thing directly to compare, Animal Well really doesn't give you any direction at all, and you're kind of just left to your own devices to figure out where to go and how to tackle things and how mechanics work. This at least lays things out for you, so you have some sort of guidance and you're not just drifting in the breeze, which I know may frustrate some, kind of depending on your affinity for just wandering. So what am I missing here? It feels like there's some item I need that I don't have yet. So this is as far as this is gonna go. So, no teleporters though, so I have to kind of get my way back up there without any teleporter access. I had a point where I needed to figure out a clock and learn about something font related, and I haven't dug any further from there. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that is where it gets, I would say, so aggressively cryptic that it's kind of not realistic to solve on your own. Obviously, the community tore it apart, in a matter of days, because everyone is nuts like that. But yeah, I think that's the layer that it gets kind of unrealistic to do on your own. Or at least it starts to. Not to say it can't be done, but you know, it's certainly pretty aggressive. I will say the aesthetics on this and the soundtrack in particular are very good. It's a little bit cryptic, it's a little bit strange, it's a little bit unfamiliar, it's a little bit unsettling. And it's very evocative of something like those original Metroid games, which I love. And the aesthetics are great, and I really love how it's presented. What I'm trying to decide is that degree of challenge in the combat and the traversal. And that seems to be, I did very little digging prior to hopping on here tonight, and it does seem that tends to be the major contention point for this one in particular, is how do you feel about it really testing you very quickly in certain manners. So it's kind of a patience barometer, where if you are generally more patient with your games, it seems like something that you're gonna enjoy and like digging your teeth into. If you're a little more impatient with your games, kind of like me, maybe you're gonna struggle a little bit. And that seems to be a pretty fair assessment of where we're landing so far. Oh, God. Ugh. So we just got to go to the left from there. Oh, how far back are we? Because we lose all that map progress, too. Ugh. Have it your way. All the eyeballs. Talk about teleporters. I think I figured out everything besides that. Rest, I'm not entirely sure if they're expecting players to dig through game data or pop the exe open in a hex editor. So they're technically solvable, but they are so cryptic and so overtly challenging to figure out. Like, I think at some point, Billy Basso, who we have hint multiple interviews with on our channel, if you want to go look at those on our YouTube and haven't seen that. Really, really cool guy. Obviously incredibly smart, very creative. Quite the technical force. He admitted basically as much, that those endgame puzzles were not strictly designed to be solvable in the independent sense. So, doesn't surprise me. And I certainly would never, ever, knowing what I know about them, I spoiled most of it for myself. I would never, ever have the patience or the knowledge or the wherewithal to be able to do that sort of thing on my own. I think it's an immense credit to those who can and are kind of predisposed to that level of creative thinking. But that's certainly something I would probably never intuitively figure out. There's gotta be weapon upgrades, right? This can't be the only blaster you have for the whole time. Made it. I like that it moves you forward a tiny bit every time. Are we stuck here too? Yeah, because I mean, we see this room. Obviously, it's impassable from there. I got through the BDTP stuff, so I think I'm still up for trying to figure out the next puzzle or two and taking a break from the game, though. The clock is the one that eats me and I need to go solve. Yeah, like I said, they are serious. They are serious with those puzzles. It's no joke. It's no joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year. So that computer's... So there's not a lot for us down here then, right? So we need to... We got to start looking elsewhere. So do we go back through the we got to go back through the volcanic part to go back to the elevator, right? So why did I come all this way? I have to at least find the teleporter to come back here. But I do this, and then I'm too far down to go back. So... Ugh. Yep. Could have told you that. Unless... Do I have to hookshot into this? Nope. Ugh. It's pretty in its way, isn't it? I think one thing you can count on is that when games like these are so highly regarded, you can be pretty confident that the main story path is at least reasonable and practical. I think that's a really good point. And something to kind of be cognizant of when you go through something like this. A lot of times, the really significant challenge and cryptic stuff does happen like post-credits, right? Like I thought I read there's something like a 200% completion in this game or some, you know, really significant post-game that you kind of get to the credits and get to the quote-unquote end. I didn't try this yet. That, I don't know what that is, but it scared me. For another dead end? No. Okay, progress at least. Found an area we can go through. Maybe. Another dead end? Also, why games like The Last of Us are so popular. Besides their presentation fidelity, nobody would appreciate the story if it was too hard to complete. You see that in a lot of games and franchises, though, where getting to the quote-unquote end is generally pretty accessible and it's not super hard. It'll test you, but it, you know, won't be some seismic challenge. I'm even thinking something like Super Mario Odyssey. Or later Mario 3D games are really, really good at that, where that main core content to get to the quote-unquote end is reasonably difficult. Then you get to the other side of that and it ramps up a lot more considerably. Even think, you know, as far back as something like Super Mario World and the special world for that. That's been a pretty constant design philosophy. So I think you're exactly right in that, you know, a lot of times these types of titles will save the most complex stuff for the end, like the end, because they want people to finish it and to feel satisfied with their purchase. Now this I can understand being a little more for that kind of, let's say, core crowd that want something cryptic and challenging and dense in that regard. My reaction to this game was, oh, this is probably too easy and mechanically simple for me to find engaging. Interesting. Now, did you say, what did you think of it? So that's not really... Oh, The Last of Us, I see. And here, I thought this thing was going to murder me, like, outright. I'm alive. Okay, so that was The Last of Us. Yeah, it's not a particularly deep game, mechanically. There we go. Kind of. But you're sort of more so there for the narrative than you are any sort of really deep or significant gameplay mechanics. That's my read on it. Because you have your kind of basic stealths, you have your, you know, pretty standard gunplay combat, you have crafting. It's all pretty straightforward, expected stuff, right? So this is just not happening for us, is it? We can't get down there. There's some other thing I have, or don't have, that needs to break that. So we really do need to get back up somehow. I feel like being down here at all is kind of not helpful right now. Oh, God. It's like, yeah, I would like the teleporter, but... You know, we get here... kind of invincibility frame spamming the computer's offline. Beta? Is that the beta symbol? My pal's got to think outside the box. That's what these games are meant to have you do. And that's where it's kind of tough to stream, and that's where I sort of get concerned, right? You're just sort of flopping around the whole time. And I don't know, is that engaging for people? Is that what you want to see us doing? I have no idea. All right, so we're back here. Alive this time. But this is just a dead end too, because you're supposed to come at this from a different part of the map. So, guess I'll die, unless there's something in the water I didn't do. I've been killing myself swinging around the whole time. And I haven't needed to do that at all. I can just swim. But see, the problem now is I have no way out of this area, so I kind of just have to die and reload it. All right, so that's clearly not helpful. We're going to have to do all this again at some point, right? So we have to go all the way back through this bit, figure out how to get back up there? Nothing wrong with a greedy search methodology. Most viewers for these games really enjoy watching people figure stuff out, even if they get stuck for a while. I'd imagine that's part of the appeal, and probably especially if you've played it yourself, right? And you've beaten it and you've figured out all the puzzles and solved everything. It's probably satisfying or fun to watch other people kind of come to the same conclusions, right? And get it all sorted for themselves. I'll take your word for it. My concern is always when we do this sort of thing, especially in sort of unfamiliar genres or stuff we don't normally focus on a whole lot, that's the concern is that going to be entertaining for everyone? Though I still get paranoid about looking dumb when I stream. Exactly. That's why, you know, we don't do a lot of puzzle games either, because that concern is always, oh, I'm going to look like a dummy for not, you know, being able to do this smoothly. Like we just nuked ourselves here. I think we got to go back up that way. Can I do that? So that's going to be a really tough swing through, but I think we kind of have to get back to that main area because it wanted me to go to the underwater section. Right, the underwater sector, and the only way I'm going to do that is if this damn I mean, I got to get through I have to get through this unharmed, pretty much, to go through the rest of the volcanic sector there. That's going to hurt me. Unless there was a heal back there. Go see. There was a heal. Okay. So I think I know what I have to do. Let's see if we can actually do it. I have an idea. With ESA, Hollow Knight, and some other games, there's also enough non-linearity to take a different, interesting path through the game. That is one thing that was fun about Animal Well, was its intense non-linearity. You really define your own path through it. Because the game, again, does so little hand-holding, or giving you any guidance at all. Volcanic sector is kind of misleading. The ambient damage tick is just enough to trick you into panicking and taking real damage from lava or enemies. That is 100% true. We just sort of blew through it initially to get to the other side and just make sure that we even could. That's what I needed to do. Maybe that's not where I go? We're trying to blaze a trail. My thinking is, if I go into the map, I gotta get back up there. Because that's the way back to what I assume is the pathway through to the underwater sector. We are here, right? And we kind of are stuck in this bottom portion, right? Jump booster we already got. Hookshot we already got. So the intent is to have to go all the way back around here to get back up to this point. Did I get that disc yet? And then bop back around to where I assume we go here. And the only way for me to really know that without being able to teleport is to just go do it. This just circles you. Okay. Again, though, there is a lot of appeal. God damn it. If you like, A, the difficulty and the challenge of sort of repeatedly beating your way through it and getting kind of a progressively better each time, a little bit better, a little bit better. He does not just circle you. Understood. And if you like that degree of, let's say, non-linearity or figuring all of it out, then I think there is a lot of appeal here. And again, it's like, what, $5 on Steam or something? Something accessible? Can I get to the game page? I'm going to look quickly. We're probably not going to do full-on reviews for the games that we do here on Discovery Month, but such as it goes, it's $7.99 when it's not on sale, and it was just on sale for $4.99. 9 out of 10 on Steam, 92% of Google users like this video game. So, kind of gives you a frame of reference. I did not see a ton of kind of formalized reviews for it, though. I assume I have to go that way, but I can't see enough of the map to fully remember how I even got down there in the first place. Cryptic! Maybe not. Cryptic's the wrong word. Maybe just a different save point will be easier. Yes. See, now we're thinking a little bit. Die. That's all you gotta do. Okay. Much better. So now the question is, where do I go from there? Or can I hook shot somewhere else entirely? What's over here now? I'm distracted. Can I go down? Is there somewhere down I can go and do? Can I hook shot up here? Unless, no. Because it's at that angle, I don't know that you can. The hook shot comes out at that angle, so you can't really do much with it. Heal me. Let's try to figure this bit out again, because again, I have to kind of... figure out exactly where I'm going here. I'm not alive long enough to see it. This music's gonna haunt my nightmares. One misstep into actually some hazard, like Jerp was saying, and you are hosed. Ho diddly hosed, neighbor. That's what I want to try. That double swing all the way up there. I do think some of these games risk needing too much genre knowledge, other Metroidvania, Super Metroid, or for Animal Well, general knowledge that many people may not have, like Binary. Again, that's that accessibility factor of, are you catering this more for a casual audience, or are you catering this more toward a hardcore player base full of familiarity with the genre? And I think that defines a lot of how, you know, people will experience it. Maybe it is just lack of familiarity with the hookshot, but I am seeing a lot of frustration in just the movement and traversal that, you know, most Metroidvanias don't really have. That's also why playthroughs of these games tend to differ so much and thus be fun to watch. That's totally fair. And I mean, everyone's experience is going to be a lot different. Like, for example, I have precious little Metroidvania expertise. So naturally, maybe that makes me more prone to struggling in this sort of thing. Hookshot also just allows some shenanigans that tend to lead more towards sequence breaking. I read that in my sort of brushing up before this, and obviously we're not going to be skilled enough to be able to pull anything like that off. But I can understand the appeal. Here's where I come at it, right? I don't have to be personally good at a game to understand the appeal or like it. You know, I can completely understand where someone's coming from if they're like, oh, I, you know, love Metroidvania, or I love Call of Duty, or I love, you know, Dark Souls. If you can appreciate and understand sort of the design mechanics and the philosophy and the gameplay structure, you can have a pretty good read on whether a game is good or not. You don't have to be physically good at it for that to be applicable. All of that, and I can't get in anyway. So where do you want me to go? There's gotta be a way out of here. I don't remember how I got down here. That's the problem. So, like, from my perspective, you can already see I'm pretty bad at this. Maybe it's supposed to be a kind of thing that you struggle with and slowly get better at. I can appreciate its design philosophy. I can appreciate especially the presentation is quite striking. Where do you want me to go? That's often me with fighting games. Me too! That's exactly the way. I'm terrible at them, but I missed it. I want to be good at Street Fighter 6 and maybe GGST now that it has actual ranked matchmaking. What's GGST? And I can recognize both as really well made relative to other fighting games. That's a fair point. Oh, Guilty Gear Strive, of course. Speaking of, you know, we pal around with Riot every now and again. I believe I saw that 2XKO, their League of Legends fighting game, is coming to console later in the month. And I'm intrigued about that. I know precious little about League. I don't play it. Nope, here we go. All right, so where the hell do I go? That's not a way out. So there's really no way back up? Is that what I'm saying here? Where the hell do I go? So that's just a loop. So there's nothing for me here. Was I really supposed to be back where I was? So I got to do all of that over again and figure out some other way through? Is that what I'm seeing here? I wish there was a little more detail in the map. So I just end up down here. I want to get up here. It seems there's a way forward there from that save block, but I don't know how to get to it. Okay. Because this, it seems like it just drops you down into this portion, and there's no way back up that way. So be it. Guess we're wandering around somewhere. All right, back, there There we go. Ugh. Playing hooky. Right like that. XKO seems pretty competent, and it has the original creators of the Guilty Gear something online, so the online functionality will be rock solid. I'd give it a try. I'm not really into Riot or League. I had more than enough interactions with MOBAs for the rest of my life. A little over 10 years ago, even worked on a couple of MOBAs, like physically programmed or designed on MOBAs, and I am not a better person for it. Oh my god, you know what? It was just coming back up from this way and not falling into that trap. Really? Oh my god! Break through? I really thought that was it. UI programming. I see. It's a real love-hate relationship a lot of people have with MOBAs, isn't it? That is definitely not my speed or my style. I have never played League in my life, and I have no intention of doing so, just based on what I know about that community and how that sort of is. GGPO is rollback netcode. I can't remember what it stands for. It isn't related to Guilty Gear. Let's find out. Good game, peace out. Is middleware designed to help create a near lagless online experience for various emulated arcade and fighting games. Interesting. Okay, so you're saying, let me roll back up here. It has the original creators of GGPO, so online will be rock solid. That's really cool. I didn't know that. I'm going to bring that up to Riot next time we cross paths with them. So for context, like I said, we really don't League here, but we Riftbound very hard, their new physical trading card game. And that is incredibly fun. I have a big TCG background. I used to play Pokemon competitively for a long time, and Riftbound is really scratching that itch. I'm actually going to a local night, Nexus night tomorrow night. So that's always very fun. So that's our main conduit into the Riot stuff. Not so much League. And that's sort of where our... You gotta be able to do something with these golden blocks, right? It's an item I don't have. So I would imagine, you know, they've expressed interest in bringing us more into the fold in some of their competitive stuff. So I would not be surprised if something like 2XKO comes more across our radar soon. So I'm interested in potentially checking it out on consoles, just because it'll be a fresh release and something we can look at, you know, with some wide-eyed enthusiasm, maybe. See, I'm just down here again, though. I mean, it feels very intentionally designed this way, so I have to imagine there's some way up or forward here that I missed. I have no idea what. Because see, I get here, right? Different colored blocks, no idea what they do. No way to swing up here, right? No way to break these. No way forward here. Now, we're just gonna scour at this point. Shoot everything. When in doubt, shoot everything, you know? So there's very obviously nothing that way. Then we go down, and now we're here, and that brings us back up there. When in doubt, guns out. That's right. what was this way? Whole lot of nothing, right? We got over here, and then there was no way forward here either. None of these walls are breakable. And I can't get up there. And there's no way through any of this, so that's a dead end. Health. At least I got health, you know? What are we saying here? What stands out about 2XKO for me... Well, there's more, right? There's a GDC video that explains how rollback works on a basic level called something like 8 frames and 16 milliseconds, talking about Mortal Kombat netcode and how they implemented things. What stands out about 2XKO for me is the Juggernaut or whatever mode there. Despite being a 2v2 game, you can still choose to play as a single character. Skullgirls had something similar. Lots of 1 HP saves. Yeah, clutch mode's got to kick in at some point, I guess. And now we're down here. Well, we went this way and there was nothing for us there. Then we went over here, and there was nothing for us there either. Just a broken computer that I can't even get to. Well, get online. What's your deal? Ugh. So then again, we go through here, break this, and it's just another dead end. So, I mean... Tells me what I've got. Use left or right to view upgrades and up and down to toggle them. There's upgrades? Hold on. Oh, like just turning them off? Why would... Are there instances I would want these off? So I'm stuck down here again? Can't go down. No. Not from that room, right? Well, I'm gonna die before I get back there anyway. I'll look again, but I mean... Oh, and it spawns you all the way back up here. The blue blocks I can't seem to break. It would be so nice to be able to teleport, but you can't. There's nothing else in this area. You kind of have to get funneled through here, it seems. Yeah. crater that frame rate. I can confirm that you're not bugged or soft locked. Okay, that's good. So I am just missing something. That's also kind of a difficult thing too, where it is so... What is this thing? I don't know what I have or what I don't have. That's what can also be challenging, where again, there is so much you have to kind of figure out on your own. You don't know, is it bugged? What did I miss? You know. It's all starting to blur together. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I haven't spent a lot of time in that room. So, but again, I get here. There's a lot of entrances and exits, but it seems like this is really just meant to kind of show you the room and not really give you a conduit to move forward. Can I kill you? We'll never know. Oh, and he flies off screen for added insult to injury. Thanks, buddy. I already went over there. Don't know how that helps me. I'm at least gonna look at the rooms. What do you do? There's nothing else here. Let's go back this way, I guess. Want to get back over to that room. I don't care what it costs me. Did you say you couldn't go down? I cannot go down. Are you for real? All I had to do was shoot it? Come closer. Come closer. I'm not even there. I'm so upset. I'm not even there. How much time did I spend? Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I'm up, down, and I'm on the ground. And do I go over here? Do I go over here? Dead, 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 dead. How much time did I spend? I had to shoot it. Back to the game. And I even said, when in doubt, shoot. Everyone, you had another thing about the same as that elsewhere. I'm gonna cry. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. Did I save there? I think I did. Yeah. Man, well, really puts it in perspective for you. So maybe we stumble into the underwater section anyway, and that's just where the scientists are. You're not a platform. Underwater traversal. Whoa! Okay, yeah, we can shoot through walls, that's fair. Big time shooty. Might just be that the game needs to set expectations a little clearer. My issue with Blueprints is that it doesn't really give you any insight into the expected level of complexity with their puzzles, sort of how to think, so it's easy to just screenshot everything and take endless worthless notes. It's sort of the grasping at straws mentality where you don't know what you're looking for, and so you don't really know how to address any kind of given situation, right? That is, I think, part of the art of puzzle design and environmental design like this is, god damn it, being able to articulate to the player what to expect. One puzzle game that I actually loved that we played recently was Viewfinder, which, if you're not familiar, is a sort of instant camera Polaroid kind of based puzzle game where you take pictures of the environment around you. Those pictures, as you place them into the world, become real environments that you can then step into and further manipulate, and I think it is wonderful. It very clearly delineates player expectations for its puzzles. God damn it. And again, has that sort of thing where you're kind of mildly to moderately challenged throughout the main experience, and then there are optional challenge levels at the end of each stage and at the end of each world where you are then, you know, you're able to turn the difficulty dial all the way up if you so choose. And I think that's a great way to approach this sort of thing. Makes it accessible and feasible for people that want to try it. Why won't you die? I've only gotten a little ways past rolling credits on that one, but it's definitely a greedy search game. Take notes you can't use until way later, and just move toward the most obvious thing. Again, it's the sort of, what is your predication toward that degree of just sort of, I don't want to say aimless roaming around, but it is kind of aimless roaming around of just directionless wandering. Ugh. I got to get around to Viewfinder. I think I was looking at it years ago. Well, it's only a couple years old, but we looked at it most recently because it just came out on Nintendo Switch last month. And we took a look at the Switch 2 version just to see how it kind of performed and looked and ran. And I thought it was great. I think we gave it a 4 out of 5 in our review of it. It was a really fun and reasonably accommodating puzzle game. Got him. You found the teleport access. There we go. You can now use the teleporters. Press right shoulder button in front of one to choose where to teleport. Note that you can only teleport to locations you've already visited. Awesome. That's super helpful. And good thing I didn't get the teleporter on the way down here. Ugh. Well, that's at least very helpful, so we can move around a little bit now. Save me, please. Wonderful. Some progress, me boys. This damn room from before. See, this is... No! No! And now we're back to where we were before. Can I get back to that teleporter? Take it easy, flower. Okay. Yeah, no, but highly recommend Viewfinder. It was a delightful time. Back to the teleporter. Yay! Alrighty. I'm gonna go here. Back to the elevator. Now we can go back down the other way. I probably should have hit that save point. Oh, yep! Come on! How far back? Too far back. Wait. Yeah, see? Now you're getting smart. I don't mind wandering off the beaten path, but Blueprints often has puzzles that you can't solve until later and won't tell you whether you can, but it sure looks like you might be able to solve them now. That's where it gets frustrating, right? Where you never have that clear sense of, can I do this? Can I not do this? Do I have to come back to this? Will I remember this at all? And again, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. And we've maybe been complaining about this being a little too cryptic in that sense, but there's a lot of appeal to that specifically because that's what a lot of players want out of these games, right? They want to not have their hand held. They want to be kind of directionless. They want to be able to kind of chart their own path and figure things out for themselves, even if it takes a long time. The question you kind of build around that then in part is, you know, does that come at the expense of a more casual audience? And do you care as a designer and as a sort of package, whether or not, you know, it caters to more types of players than that? What I can appreciate about this is it very much seems to have its design philosophy down, and it knows who it's for, seemingly. It's very deliberately kind of presented in this way. So again, it's not a bad thing. It's sort of then a question of, does it execute on what it's trying to do? You know, again, it's the difference between this is a bad game and this game is not for me, right? And that's where things like, you know, you get a little more esoteric, like the hook shot is difficult to control, or it has a high skill ceiling. The control is bad, or the control is difficult to wrap your head around. So that's sort of the differentiation you have to make. And to that end, so far, I mean, I think this lays out its... Ugh. Did I go up that way before? Obviously, I would have had to. Blueprints' issue was more about establishing the style at which you play it, not whether the puzzles were complex. It is kind of important to set those expectations up front, right? And in fairness, I do think... Ooh, can I go somewhere I haven't been yet? Maybe. intrigued. Is there anything really up there, though? Where am I trying to go? Just back this way. I'm just waiting for my... Oh, this again. So that drops us down to... That drops us down to a boss, right? Yeah, that drops us down to Beetle. We don't want to do that. Unless it doesn't. Not in the mood to do that again. No more beetle for today. Hit my beetle quota. This should help, though. So we already got through here, and we're gonna die. So where am I going? Save point here? No! Oh, God. All the way back. Man, traversal is frustrating. There was a recent Adam M. whatever architect of video games that explained it better than I could. Let's read. You could explain it like you have to form a sentence, but you don't even know what verbs are available, nor how to determine what verbs you have. ESA is pretty good about telling you what verbs you have available, letting you identify where a sentence might be useful, and is pretty consistent with how you acquire more verbs. That's a really good way to explain it. And I think it does at least do a pretty good job of delineating things like core objectives, right? Where you kind of have some sense of direction of generally where you need to go and what you need to be doing next and what you should probably focus on. The gaps then are how you get there. And I mean, like, quite literally how you get there, how you're traversing the world and physically moving around, but also, you know, the methodologies that you're using. What are you discovering? What are you finding? What are you prioritizing? Games like Animal Well don't even go that far, where you don't even necessarily have the objective. You know there's these like 4 floating orbs around and you probably got to go get these flames or whatever. None of it is explained. This at least kind of gives tutorials of its mechanics and like, this is how you teleport, and this is how you use the hook shot, and this is how this thing happens. So that I appreciate. It's not completely directionless for those who are not super into that. Again, it's more about that execution. And again, sort of now getting that understanding of, all right, it's really not gonna help me much. You start to understand. So I see, like, those are obviously different color blocks, and I assume I'll be able to break them with an ability or an item that I don't have yet. And that's fine. You know, that's pretty well delineated. So now I can get up here. And now see, you can use the hook shot to get up and over those areas, and we're good. I was told that there's a safe path to the underwater dome here. Where? Well, right here. Always sink in the quicksand. That's the rule, right? Boom. Easy peasy. And now we're progressing again. You do get that little jolt of excitement when you figure out something after struggling for a little bit, and then you're kind of motivated to continue. I did feel that with Animal Well a lot, where, you know, you're struggling with something, or you're just wandering around for a while generally, and then you sort of figure it out, and you're proud of yourself and you want to continue. Those are some big buggles, my God. The station area isn't restricted to just what is bolted to the artificial landmass. Currently, there are 2 larger structures orbiting it. One is the research outpost, meant for studying certain archaeological qualities of the preserved environments. Haven't heard from the crew there for some time. They probably met the same fate as we did. The other structure is a cargo ship. I heard they were supposed to send some new samples here. I wonder what happened to those. I also really like how it drip feeds you the lore via the terminals. It's like a reward for exploring around, just like sort of getting through a combat section in The Last of Us. We were talking about that before. You're rewarded with more story if you're there for the narrative. If you're, you know, solving puzzles and getting through different sections of this, you're rewarded with terminals that give you more lore, that give you more story, that give you more context of the world, and I like that too. Some probably lean into that a little more heavily than others, I would imagine. Ow. Just a really dense, this is really dense room design here. I know what to do with you, shooty. Yeah. That's right, bucko. I do quite like the music as well. And I like that it's not as basic as the presentation and the graphics are generally, you know? It's really hard to not take damage, I'm finding. Now this is going to kill me outright, so I don't even know why I'm trying this section. Yep. And we got to do it all again. My pal's a damage magnet? I sure am. Look at me go. Like, they burst out of there pretty much immediately and hurt you, so I mean... It's fine. Ah, I didn't want to do that. Again! Did I not shoot the thing? No, I did. We're down here. Getting delirious. It's all looking the same. Everything blends together. There's just so much happening. Ugh. I wish just moving around the world wasn't as punishing as it is. Obviously, that's a core component of the game. I don't know. It does feel like combat difficulty in Metroidvania scaled way up after Super Metroid. Feels like the shmup issue, more niche genres start getting designed primarily for people deep in the genre and become too difficult to get into. That's an interesting point. And again, it kind of leans into that idea of difficulty generally, and like how hard is too hard, right? Or how easy is too easy, and what does that difficulty really mean for different people? Yeah, if you design for genre experts, obviously anything but the most obtuse and challenging stuff is going to feel too easy. If you are designing too much for the casual player, then you lose maybe that sense of depth or that sense of genuine challenge that maybe some other people want. So having things like that easy mode or having some sort of player accommodations helps broaden that audience, I think, while still enabling either those really hardcore genre nuts to be satisfied or those really kind of unfamiliar folks who don't do a whole lot of it to also still be satisfied and enjoy it in their own way. One game that I think is a good example of kind of going outside of what's built into its comfort zone is we've been playing a ton of, I'm going to take a moment here to just kind of catch my breath. We've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders lately, and by we I mean me, and by a lot I mean like I've probably put 30 hours into it, 35 hours over the course of the past week and change. With the holiday in the US, I actually had a little bit of time to just sit back and play games for a lot of a day. It was crazy. And what I've found was, and what I've read a lot about it, is that it's a really good conduit into extraction shooters for people who aren't familiar with extraction shooters, because it does a lot of really helpful but small piecemeal quality of life things that help make the experience a lot more approachable for people who don't want to necessarily have that hardcore PvP, always on guard all the time experience. And that's incredibly inviting and super fun. Now, I'm not a filthy casual for most things. I will, I play a lot of games competitively. I want some challenge in some things. I don't like it when my shooters are too easy. For example, my first-person shooters, I like some degree of fair difficulty there, and in a lot of different genres. You don't want to be babied necessarily. At the same time, there are reasonable curves and degrees to this sort of thing. And what's great about Arc Raiders, for example, is that it really does straddle that line between, tense, challenging gameplay and accessibility. My girlfriend, Sarah, Miss Nephroptosis, who floats around the channel from time to time, has been really engaged with and interested in Arc Raiders because it is so easy for you with their aggression-based matchmaking system to play a very passive gameplay style where you're really only hunting the robots that are hunting you. And you have very little player-on-player combat. That takes a lot of the intimidation factor out for players like her, and it makes it a little more approachable and fun when you can just go out, run around for 20 minutes, scavenge the world, and acquire your stuff, and then just keep building up more stuff, because that's the whole hook of an extraction shooter. Something like Marathon, or something like Escape from Tarkov, I don't think she would gel with at all, or even something like the Dark Zone in The Division, because it is so much more kind of core focused and PvP oriented. So I think Arc Raiders does that so well. It still has all of those elements that appeal to those kinds of players, but it also is so accommodating and fresh for people who aren't necessarily extraction shooter fans. All of that is to say, there are ways to design all these different sort of experiences where you can appeal to people who don't normally play it while still satisfying those who really go deep. I think Animal Well is an excellent example of that too, where there's very little friction in terms of like traversing the world and dying a bunch and doing whatever, and still it's so incredibly deep after the credits roll that, again, like Jerp was saying, you can go for God knows how long trying to solve those puzzles by yourself, weeks, months, years, if that's really what you want. So I think that's all interesting. I talked a lot here, missed some comments. From Souls Games had that issue up into Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring did a great job of addressing that in a way that players didn't understand. And I've struggled with a lot of From games for that reason. I think I count as a tourist. I can get good enough at a game to where the diehards want me to dedicate my entire existence to their favorite games, but I don't have the attention span for it, so I'm eternally disappointing to a lot of people. I feel a similar kind of sentiment where you can play and get good and get involved with certain things, especially as a creator, right? As a streamer, as a reviewer, you start to show interest and dedication toward maybe a certain underserved IP or a game that has a really passionate but small fan base. You start to get folded into that, and then you don't quite hit the same level as them, and that causes friction. I would struggle with that a lot when I wrote for that outlet that was primarily Sonic based, where I love Sonic, I've played most Sonic games, but I'm not like a hyper nut for the franchise. And candidly, a lot of the folks in those sites and in those communities are nuts. I mean, like, hyper nuts for the franchise, not like actually crazy. And that often leads to conflict where, like, you don't remember this specific piece of Sonic Adventure 2, or you can't beat, you know, this level in Heroes in under a certain amount of time, or what do you mean you don't love Shadow the Hedgehog the game? So you do have that sort of friction and butting heads with people. So that's always interesting. You can be calm and collected, or you can be blaring Last Man Battalion theme from The Division and shouting expletives, "Love me, Arc Raiders." Now, I've been playing it solo, Vinny. We should maybe have an Arc Raiders night where we all go in like duos or trios and just blast the shit out of everybody. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun for that reason. It definitely helps when you can self-select difficulty through how you navigate the game and where you go. Elden Ring is practically the king of that nowadays. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. God damn it. This is what I'm talking about. Obviously, a big component of this gameplay philosophy is just the challenge that traversal, just basically moving through the world, forces you to kind of contend with. And I think a lot of the enjoyment of how you're going to come out of Environmental Station Alpha is whether or not you jive with that. And I gotta say, it's almost a little too much friction in terms of what I would want out of something like this. Almost. Like, I can deal with it and I can move forward, but it does start to get a little, like, oh, come on, kind of deal, where you have to earn your steps forward a little more than most, I think. And how fun is that for you? That's kind of the question. How much do you want to have to earn your progress like that? That's maybe a good way to phrase it. And I think, again, we were talking about sort of this sort of stuff being designed for genre experts. I think that's kind of indicative of the situation where, you know, it's sort of designed for people who, like, I cannot get past this part easily. It very obviously, now again, I don't know what easy mode looks like. Do you take less damage out in the world? Do you not take damage at all? I definitely do feel like just the basics of moving around and exploring is a little more tiresome than it probably should be. Again, I keep comparing to Animal Well a lot, with that being one of my main frames of reference for the series, but even something like Super Metroid or any of those portable Castlevania games, right? You don't really have that much friction, right? And it's a little more playable generally as a result. I don't know. It's these big bugums that really annoy the bejesus out of me here. But I've finally figured out how to conquer them, I think. Now this thing is unbeatable. That's fun. That's where the appeal starts to get lost. When you are clawing this hard to get just one screen farther, it starts to slog a little bit. I got a couple of world records for speedrunning Monolith, Star of Providence, another big mode special. And the reason why I haven't gone back after the big update was another speedrunner was nagging me to try to get me to be competitive. They finally found some proper competition and they weren't letting you go, huh? I can understand that. That's a frustrating situation to be in when you just want to kind of enjoy it and then, you know, people won't get off your back about certain things. Ugh. Like, I'm damaged so much I can't get through this section. I could probably offer some stray pieces of combat advice if you're not so concerned about spoilers. I'm not super spoiler concerned, but we're also kind of coming up on time, probably. I won't be playing for too much longer tonight. Throw out what you got. I'll do what I can. God damn it! You start to rush it a little bit because you're just so tired of having to redo the same stuff over and over. Can I just tank it? We'll never know. A new idea. We're just going to tank it. We're going to get in there with as much health as we can, and we're just going to tank through. You actually hit him. There we go. For Star of Providence, I just liked how the game played and was also curious about number go down time-wise. That and how fast sudden death could be. Yeah, it is a fun one. We played the updated version in like the Switch release at PAX West recently. Was that this year or last year? Whenever it was fresh on the menu. And I enjoyed it. It was a good time. For the big bugs, it's often much safer if you focus on remaining mobile when you fire the last shot so the resulting little bugs don't hit you. That's what I was thinking. And also, it seems like if I get it while it's above me, they do naturally shoot downward toward me, so they'll be within my line of fire pretty directly. Now, here, like I said, we're just going to tank it. Oh, there's more room than I thought. Okay. Got it. That's all I cared about. Okay. Where are we now? New section. Just gotta get creative. Oh, did we hit the underwater portion? I think we did. Whoa, hey, whoa. This is gonna be fun. I like its vibes. Look at, we got parallax in the background. Oh, I love it. Ooh. Star of Providence finally got... I think it did get a Switch port. Was that what we were playing? There's tentacles! Oh, blah, blah. I don't like that. That's a nice possibility to swing. Yeah, look at that! We figured this out after all. And for what? I was so proud of myself. We got all the way up here. Ooh. Look at that. We figured it out. The green barriers in the underwater sector are used to regulate the flow of water. The green switches can open the closed green barriers and vice versa. Hit the green switch with the hook shot to toggle them. Ooh. New mechanics. There are two kinds of destructible blocks, red and blue. Blue ones can be destroyed using a charged up energy shot. The red blocks require a powerful force such as an energy dash to be destroyed. That implies I'm getting these abilities soon. Ah. Save me! There's a few looping inputs that I think they want you to get used to. One with the hook shot. Yeah, that very much felt like a predetermined action I needed to figure out. I really like the music. It's giving me more like lo-fi Celeste vibes for some reason. I think that's interesting. Oh God, boss. Why explosions? Does that? Oh, and they kind of shrink down to time out the explosion. That's pretty good. I didn't hate that boss straight away, so that was all right. Let's try that again. When it gets quiet, that like you know strikes fear into the hearts of the populace, doesn't it? Come here, jelly. These at least feel like reasonable attack patterns, right? I don't feel like I'm going nuts just yet. See, that feels more doable than, especially that last one. What was it? Scavenger armor, whatever. I like that one. Let's do more Goliath jelly. The music is so consistently good, so you get a nice reward for progress. That is true. Were the music more repetitive or not as high quality, this would definitely be much more of a slog. I like that he kind of hovers within range of me being able to just sit on the ground and spam him. Ugh. Oh, we got his ass. All right. That was fine. That was perfectly fine. I was totally happy with that. And we got the propeller upgrade. You can now swim with much greater ease. Ooh, look at us go. Whee! Just having a swim, y'all. Ooh, oh, that's so much better. Yeah, you're not kidding. Did they let you hold down the button to repeat fire? No. Oh, that's so much better. Save my game. Would that have hurt me? We'll never know. Can I get out this way? I thought it was possible to fire faster. Nope. I'm mashing it. Maybe there's an upgrade for that? Look at me swimming. No upgrade for it. Well, then yeah, unfortunately. All right, so how did that go? So still more underwater bits we can do. Let's explore. Let's see if we can get to those researchers. Can we get there? Swimming. This guy is a cute little guy when he's swimming. Look at him go. So I can get back up here, right? That takes me... Well, no, there's... Can I go up from here? Oh, did I block this off on myself? It saves that? That's a choice. Oh. I want to do that in reverse. That's what I'm angling for here. Tentacle time. I don't want it. Let's clear out the water here. It goes so fast, though. Yeah, it's a nice swim upgrade. I like it a lot. I can't go that way? So what do it? It does not make firing underwater very easy, though. I have an idea. Take me, Tentacle Man. It's not the one I want to be at. Okay. Swimming. That would have hurt me. I could have killed myself had I run into that. So I can go up from here, right? I have to hook shot it. And I don't think that gets me where I want to go anyway, right? Green barriers in the underwater sector are used to regulate the flow of water. The green switches can open the closed green barriers and vice versa. Did that change anything for me by activating it back out in the world that I missed? Just did this, but that doesn't get me anywhere. Actually, it does. Oh. Green block. How get rid? That's a pity. Because I can't get back this way if I activate that unless I somehow... Do I have to come back around this way? Can I? I guess I can. Let's try it. God, that is a lot of backtracking. So you've played Super Metroid, Animal Well, and some of the Castlevania games. Yeah, the DS ones, mostly the DS ones. That are more in that style, not like, I mean, Castlevania 3 and like the original don't count in that respect. So if I can, I have an idea. Yeah, and I haven't played the Castlevania ones like super extensively. I want to say like Portrait of Ruin or Order of Ecclesia or some of those. I can go back and see which ones specifically I've played. But those were a long, long time ago. Like, I mean, that's when like the DS was fairly new. I might have gotten to the end of one of them. I want to say Portrait of Ruin. I don't know why that one's sticking out so much in my mind. But we're talking like when those games were new. I probably touched them once or twice and then like beat them through once and then that was it. So again, not the most experienced in the genre, but hey, it's some frame of reference. And again, that's where I was sort of puzzling with myself a little bit, because you lose some of that context as a younger person, because again, a lot of those were 20 years ago, so that does block that off. Okay. So I can go this way. Can I get up there? Yeah, I just got to go the other way. Ah. That's where you sort of lose that frame of reference. Like, were those that hard? Were those that easy? When you're young, you don't really have that context, right? Or your experience of something now is going to be fundamentally different probably than it was when you were, much younger. Can I get up there, though? So I'm all the way back here now. My thought was if I could get up there while that block was inactive, I could get to that next screen north of me. but I don't think that's the case because I can't jump up this way, and the water current won't let me up. Damn. Thought I was so clever. That's okay. I think I played them somewhere around release, but I can't remember when. Replayed, I think, most of Dawn of Sorrow at least a few years ago. Let's take a look at the series. We'll leave this running in the background. Oh god, so what? There's so many of them. There's Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, Lament of Innocence, Dawn of Sorrow, Curse of Darkness, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia. Does Lords of Shadow count? Probably not. I'm just gonna dig quick here. Yeah, Portrait of Ruin on the DS, I think was it. And that I remember being really good. I had a lot of fun with that one. That was 2006. Wow. Probably played it in like 2007, 2008, and that's the last time. So that's, oh god, coming up on 20 years ago. Yikes. So those are fun. So I will probably take this opportunity. We're coming up on 3 hours of time here, and you boys got work in the morning. So let's sum it up. I think part of the joy, again, so we're in the middle of Discovery Month here on the channel, and that is a new and interesting indie game every week on stream for all of you. So that's where the fun comes in. I was 21-ish. I can't math time. I would have been, if it was 2007, let's assume, I probably would have been about 14 or 15 if I was playing it. That's spooky. So part of the fun, like I said, is just getting to explore different games that we might not normally cover or take a look at otherwise. And again, there's what? Over 150,000 games on Steam. Let's surface a couple interesting ones. So this was Environmental Station Alpha, at least part of it. And if you've been watching for a bit, you've kind of got our thoughts on it. I think there's a lot here to enjoy, especially if you like being confronted with really kind of cryptic and solve-it-yourself challenges. I think there's a lot of this you have to figure out on your own, and that you have to kind of just brute force your way through a lot of the time. So in a sense, you know, maybe some overlap with something like those From Software experiences or some generally harder titles. Not knowing how easy mode works, this is not the most welcoming thing in the world, and I think you got to kind of keep that in mind. You need to kind of navigate its crypticness and have an appreciation for figuring it out on your own and being willing to struggle to get where you need to go as part of the fun. If you can embrace that, I think there is a really solid Metroidvania here that people might enjoy. So if this was not on your radar when it came out back in 2015, might be worth a look. It's $8 on Steam currently. We got it on sale during the winter sale for $5 US. So really not losing a lot by taking a chance on it. And you're supporting a one-person development team who put this together again about 10 years ago. And that's pretty cool. Positives, I think the presentation style is pretty charming. Feels very, you know, NES original Metroid-esque. A little bit of horror, a little bit of spookiness, a little bit of unsettling characteristics. That's really fun. The soundtrack is excellent and very atmospheric, very, very lo-fi vibes. And I like that a lot. It's something that I would probably put on in the background if I'm feeling some type of way outside of the game. I like that a lot. And gameplay is reasonably engaging. I think because it does get so ticky-tack with its combat and traversal, you really feel some of the inadequacies, like not being able to shoot diagonally or, you know, not feeling like you're always running fast enough to... Standing still like that was starting to crater the frame rate. That was interesting. Did you see that? We were just standing here for a while and everything started to slow down. Unless it's just doing that automatically. I don't know. Lo-fi Metro Wave. Kind of a great way to describe it. So that's sort of our pitch on Environmental Station Alpha. I think you need to have some appreciation and affinity for Metroidvanias as a genre if you're going to vibe with this. And if you are into Metroidvanias, I think Jerp said it very, very well. It's one of the better choices for someone who wants to get deeper into the genre. So if you're already inclined toward this sort of thing, I think this is a good pick. If this isn't your thing, you don't really like Metroidvanias, you're not super familiar with how they work, I think this might be a tough sell. Especially given, at least on normal, its difficulty curve and the spikes and how challenging it can be to just go from room to room. It's probably not for everyone in that regard. And that's exactly where I think it stands. Really fun if this is your kind of thing. If it's not, probably not worth your time. But there you go. That's the joys of Discovery Month here on Hypocritic GG. So we'll be back with you next week on stream with another fresh pick out of the Steam library for some sort of indie game. The intent here is to maybe surface those that either you haven't seen before or you might have overlooked. Some are going to be newer than others. Some are going to be more popular than others. You know, inevitably one or two you will probably at least have heard of. I had never heard of this one before we dug it up. So that was cool. And hopefully you stick with us for more streams like this, and hopefully this is something that's interesting for people. We're going to keep doing it all month long. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitch if you're inclined and want to see more of our stuff. We were talking about interviewing like Billy Basso, the guy that made Animal Well, a lot of folks from Riot on Riftbound, and we probably have close to 50 at this point. Industry interviews. 49, we'll get that 50th. From everyone, again, from like Riot Games and Remedy and big name publishers. Remedy was on the older channel. To small 1-2 person indie development teams and everything in between. So consider giving those a watch if you're interested. I do love, and it's kind of fun, Environmental Station Alpha does not have a dock icon on macOS. It just displays the no graphics kind of placeholder that macOS gives you. That's really funny. All right, I guess that'll do it, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, some call me Cheatspeak, and that is one of many episodes in Discovery Month here. Tune in next week for an all-new indie pick from our Steam library. Stay fresh, cheese bags. We'll catch you back here real soon.